Welcome to How You Living, a transformative podcast featuring best-selling author, inspirational speaker, and minister, Dr. Rick Rigsby. And now, Dr. Rick.
Hello, friends. Thanks so much for listening. I recall as a college professor, my students were not fond of studying for midterms and final examinations. But boy, did they love my in-class exam reviews. In the spirit of those reviews, this podcast episode is devoted to a review of our series, The Essence of Greatness, all 5 parts. I've subtitled this review simply Postscript. I think reviewing is helpful for both retention and habit building. First, retention. 50% of what we hear, we forget just like that. Of the remaining 50%, we lose 38% over the next 24 hours. And so a review will help us to retain. Imagine having a reservoir of knowledge that you can go back to on demand anytime you want. It builds retention skills. Now, regarding habit building, it's kind of hard to build a habit if you can't remember your construction list. It's sort of hard to draw a blueprint if you don't recall all the very specific action steps. James Clear wrote an incredible book a couple of years ago titled Atomic Habits: How Small Changes Can Produce Massive Results. Based on his recovery from a massive head injury, Clear was forced to retrain himself by using small habits. He retrained himself how to accomplish even the smallest of tasks. His central argument: small habits exercised daily can have huge results. And so, this episode will serve as a repository for the simple lessons that I've learned that have motivated this series, The Essence of Greatness. The series is based on the notion that not everyone will be successful. Everyone can be successful. We all have the capacity, but not everyone is willing to pay the price for success. And the series was fueled by my personal health journey that resulted in a significant weight loss over the past couple of years. Despite decades of being classified by the medical community as, quote, morbidly obese, end quote, I wasn't willing to pay the price for better health. I rationalized my decision by saying, well, losing 100 pounds is just not in the cards for me, or I just can't do this, or it's just too hard. I want you to remember something. Thoughts determine words. Words determine actions. Actions influence habits. Imagine the habits that I formed with words that came out of my mouth, such as never, can't, and hard. My journey produced several life-changing results once I made the decision to change. From these results, I learned a few lessons that I believe we can apply to every area or endeavor in life. Let me just summarize in this review. Lesson number 1, pain is critical to any type of growth. In Samuel Chan's great book, Leadership Pain, The Classroom for Growth, he stated, quote, when you interpret your pain as bigger, more important, more threatening, more comprehensive than your vision, you'll redefine your vision down to the threshold of your pain, end quote. You see, without pain, there is no growth. And if we cannot answer the why question, why should I transform my life? We're reluctant to endure the pain. You see, it's far easier to exist in the land of comfort and convenience. Lesson number 1, pain is critical to any type of growth. Lesson number 2, we have to learn to do hard things better. Learning to do hard things is critical to any success. I think about the NFL legend Jerry Rice right after winning the Super Bowl back in 1995. His quarterback was Steve Young, and Young observed this. Just 3 days after winning the Super Bowl, I went down to the facility. That's Steve Young talking. No one was there. It was empty. I peeked out the back window and I saw Jerry Rice, 3 days after the Super Bowl, at our training facility running routes. Young continued, there's only one guy that does that. He was the greatest player who ever played in the NFL. I would say that little story maybe tells you more than anything else about maybe why. Great people do things that other people don't. Great people learn to do hard things better. Lesson number 3, you want greatness? You want success sustained over a period of time? Become comfortable being uncomfortable. Pursuing greatness forces you out of your comfort zone. You're forced to be innovative, forced to embrace the new, forced to have a growth mindset. For decades, I chose comfort over challenge. I chose convenience over change. But now I see. I once was blind, but now I see. What do I see? You have to yield control to gain control. You got to have a teachable spirit. And you must answer that why question. Why do I want to change? Why do I want to lose the weight? Why do I want to go through being uncomfortable and experience all the pain? Once you answer the why question, let me tell you, you will accomplish every goal you set before your very eyes. You see, I have become comfortable being uncomfortable with relinquishing control, with challenging old assumptions, with developing a teachable spirit, with understanding the power that emotions play, and learning the difference between hunger and need. For me, losing weight was easy. That's the easy part. But transforming my life, uncomfortable. This is what I've discovered. No discomfort, no growth. Lesson number 3, become comfortable being uncomfortable. Lesson number 4, disrupt your thinking on a daily basis. Disruptive thinkers add value to any group, any organization. They drive organizational change. They perpetuate forward progress. They're always ahead of a constantly evolving environment. They think outside the box. Friends, I've shared this story in previous episodes, but I love the Blockbuster/Netflix story. Co-founders of Netflix, Mark Randolph and Reed Hastings. As the story goes, they credit their multi-billion-dollar success to disrupting their own thinking. You'll remember the story. They go into Blockbuster when Blockbuster is the king of the video world. Blockbuster has 9,000 stores throughout the United States, 60,000 employees. Well, guess what? Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph, they go into Blockbuster and they say, we'll give you 49% of our revenue if you let us be your online video distribution arm. Guess what? Blockbuster laughed them out of the building. It caused Mark Randolph to say to his business partner, Reed Hastings, we've got to disrupt the video world. We have to figure out a way. But the first thing we have to do is figure out a way how to disrupt our thinking on a daily basis. Today, Blockbuster has one store in Bend, Oregon, with a handful of employees. They filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy back in 2010. By the way, Netflix, a multi-billion-dollar success that the founders attribute to disrupting their thinking on a daily basis. Successful people do things that others don't. They are able to see things that others can't see. If all you see is what you see, you don't see all there is that needs to be seen. Lesson number 4, disrupt your thinking on a daily basis. And finally, lesson number 5, determination. Dogged, steadfast, relentless determination is critical to any kind of success. Greatness is fueled by a fierce, unstoppable, relentless determination. Now, there's a significant difference between perseverance and determination. Both are critical, but there is a difference. To persevere means you're refusing to give up. You keep pushing forward. You're focused on reaching your goal. Determination is the firmness of purpose that drives you toward that particular goal. Once again, perseverance, the focus on reaching your goal. Determination, the firmness of purpose that drives your resolve toward achieving that goal. I think the words of author Napoleon Hill come to mind right now and are quite fitting. He stated these words in his fantastic book, Think and Grow Rich. He stated this, quote, successful people possess 2 qualities, a singleness of purpose and a burning desire to accomplish that purpose. But you can't just possess determination alone. In order to achieve success, that determination must be coupled with strategies that frame, focus, and implement that determination. In other words, strategy is what fuels determination. Admittedly, doing the basics, the very stuff that strategy is built upon, is not sexy, especially in this day and age. But we need to take a page out of Grandma and Grandpa's playbook. They taught our parents, and if we were fortunate, our parents passed it on to us. Right now, I want you to think about all those sayings you grew tired of hearing through the years. I bet today they ring with a very different meaning. I can hear my father saying some of those sayings, and at the top of the list, he would say this: son, if you really, really want to grow your influence, if you really, truly want to have success, exercise the basics every single day better than anybody else, and you'll grow your capacity for success. Pittsburgh Steelers former head coach Chuck Noll once said this: champions are champions, not because they do extraordinary things, but because they do ordinary things better than anybody else. Bottom line, when you combine determination with strategy, you literally become relentless, unstoppable when it comes to achieving success. So don't sit on top of the mountaintop very long. Enjoy the view for a while. Then be like Jerry Rice after the Super Bowl and get back to work. That's critical. So in a nutshell, that's pretty much it. 5 simple lessons that capture the essence of greatness. Number 1, pain is required for growth. Number 2, we must learn to do hard better. 3rd, we have to become comfortable being uncomfortable. 4th, disrupt our thinking on a daily basis. And 5th, we must possess a fierce determination and develop strategies in order to implement that determination with simple action steps, all played out on a daily basis. I want to thank you for listening to this Postscript. Save this episode. Refer to this episode constantly. Create action steps based on this episode and begin to radically change your life starting today. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Until we meet again, this is Dr. Rick asking the most important question I can ask: how you living?
Are you ready to make an impact in your world right now? Do you want to stop existing and start living your best life right now? Dr. Rick wants to give you the first chapter of his best-selling book, Lessons from a Third Grade Dropout, absolutely free. Just go to www.rickrigsby.com/free gift to get the print or audiobook right now.
This is the podcastfactory.com.